All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off. Appreciate everybody joining. Me and Jada here today. We've been talking about this for a little while now. How we get together on here and have some convo. As Jada would say, we chop it up for a little bit. We've been grinding here the last, I'd say, couple of months.
Yeah.
And so we was like, man, this is definitely the time to do this. I'm gonna kick it off to Jada. He's gonna share a little bit of his story. I'll share a little bit of mine. We'll show where we converge because we talked about we got two very, very different journeys here. He's a founder, his business, me and mine. I'm talking about these things are complete opposite, but it just shows, when people align themselves, the vision that they can do some big things together, and how we actually using AI to leverage this. So, Jada, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you. What is F3?
Oh yeah, for sure. And again, I appreciate everyone taking time out. Come chop it up with Dr. Jonesy and I. But yeah, F3 stands for Focus, Fight, Finish. It's funny how it became what it became because it all stemmed from one conversation with a high school football team. Jonesy and I, old school, our football team, shout out to Hillcrest High School. And I went and spoke to him, and I spoke to him about Focus, Fight, Finish. Not just Focus, Fight, Finish on the football field, but actually Focus, Fight, Finish in the classroom, in the communities, at home with the parents. By the end of the talk, I had the coaches, I had the guys screaming out, Focus, Fight, Finish. Focus, Fight, Finish. And 2 weeks later, a perfect opportunity for myself. The high school football coach came and actually asked me to join the team. I was honored and grateful enough to join the staff. I was speaking with one of our coaches. As a matter of fact, we was in the group text actually. And my last text was Focus, Fight, Finish. And one of my good friends to this day right now, my guy, Coach Judy, he hit me with a hashtag F3. I'm like, oh, F3, Focus, Fight, Finish. I like that. And so from that point, just going out and getting with the team. We broke it down on F3. I got in the middle of the team, and I asked the boys, if you ready to rock and roll, let me get an F3. And the whole team just say F3. And it's been a wrap from that, man. It has gone not just a saying or just a chant, but actual movement, man. So that's a little bit of how it came about in the hashtag and things like that. And the reason, to be honest, I started this whole F3 thing, guys, is it stemmed from one conversation to next thing you know, I wrote a book. My first book is actually in the hands of an editor right now. From a book to a focus list, pretty much like the app. It helps you win the day. And then one day I had a conversation with my guy. Matter of fact, I didn't even have a conversation. Let me take it back a little bit. Jonesy and I've been friends since high school, man, high school football teammates. We kind of disconnected a little bit, through life. He went and did his thing, I went and did my thing, but we kind of kept in contact through Facebook and things like that. But this one particular day, probably about sometime in March, I seen a video of Jonesy. And he was talking about using AI. Jonesy helps and teaches people how to use AI in the workplace already. So I told Jonesy, hey man, I'm not really with this AI thing. I've seen AI and it does remarkable things. Don't get me wrong now. But I just didn't have, I guess I wouldn't say the time, but I just wasn't interested in just fooling with AI at the time. Didn't know how I could use it as leverage to get me ahead of life and ahead of business or whatever. But I watched Jonesy video, and y'all, I'm telling you, man, like I need an app. First thing in my head, I say I need an app. I think about Focus, Fight, Finish and how it applies to my everyday life. But I needed some guidance. I needed some account. I need to hold myself accountable a lot more than I was. I reached out to Jones. I hit him up. It might have been, I think it was a Sunday night. I said, bro, I have this idea. I want an app. I seen how you push this guy app in like minutes. What you think about this? And I shot him some information. When I shot him that information, the thing that he sent back to me, y'all, was like mind blowing to me. I said, man, listen, this is a game changer. It's on because this app, it's not just a counter, it's just not a regular app or a check off or a habit tracking app. This app is a daily system that helps you, be accountable. It helps you fight. I mean, it helps you, focus on what matters at the time. It helps you fight through midday fade. You know what I'm saying? Doing excuse me. Sometimes you get to working, or you get into life, and you get a little tired, you get a little fatigued. But this app, man, it helps you keep pushing through those fatigue days. It sends you notifications, man. What's going on? Keep pushing, keep fighting. And then at the end of the day, man, you just want to finish every day better than your last. And this app helps you do that. This app pretty much helps you win your day. It builds more discipline up. It like I said, it holds you accountable. And like I say, man, listen, if y'all take this accountability app and apply it to your commitment or whatever it is you're doing, it'll definitely help tie into like your identity and purpose in life. And that's what I love about this app and all the cool features that this thing carries. I mean, all the cool features.
I'm gonna cheat here a little bit. Like I said, this is where go off script here a little bit.
Yeah.
Jada, I mean, we're going back to the app. So I'll admit, at first, I was like, I saw your vision and I was like, man, I can help my boy Jada out. Let's get something up here. And I think, we did a couple iterations the first, few days. And it took probably about a week before I embraced it myself. That was a failure on my part because I'm just sitting here helping you out. But I was like, man, I need to use this. Like, there's areas where I get, tunnel vision. I'll be focused over here. I'm not focused over here on other things I need to be focused on. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, how do I maintain the right balance? And honestly, I'm not one of those people that believe in like true balance itself. Like every day I'm only going to work on this long and this long. No. But it does mean I got to be cognizant of, okay, I'm leaning too heavy on this today. I got to attend to this. I got to attend to my family, my kids, my wife. I got to attend to, hey, I got to get out of the professional space and focus on the entrepreneurial space, or vice versa, as a student, whatever it may be. And so I was like, I got to use this. But then I was like, what are the features that it would need for me to want to use it? Yeah. And that's why I hit up Jada one morning. I was like, man, you know what? I need it on my Apple Watch. I want to see it on my Apple Watch. I was like, hey, if I go do a workout, I wanted to automatically like check off a box if I put, physical activity, workouts, anything like that on there. So me and Jada were just going back and forth and just like, yeah, let's go ahead and we added a whole bunch of features. So this right here is my dashboard. All right. You see it's got, good morning, Jonesy, got my name over here. There's a special quote. So this was something Jada and I went back and forth on, but basically the quotes are set up based on what persona you choose. As Jada stated, it's not just for athletes. It's just not just for this type of person. But if you say, hey, I'm a coach, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a professional, however you want to put your persona, there are quotes that are coming up here daily for you so that you wake up, you open it up, you'll see those. You'll see right there in the graphic, right under those, your focus, fight, finish. You'll see your percentages here, your streaks. You can see I've been grinding for a minute with this. It's not new. And so, hey, the most powerful piece of it is when I go ahead and look at my today, I can say, okay, what are my non-negotiables? You see those three: physical activity, win with AI, and sleep. Man, I think people understand how valuable that sleep is for your health. You'll see down here, I got my focus. You can actually go in here and put a time for a reminder of what time it is. And so down here in the fight. So I think, honestly, on the hardest days, the fight and finish are the most powerful elements for me. Jada, I know we ain't talked about that, but man, when you look at it, you know what I'm saying? I got the quote right here. I got these 4 elements here. All right. Did I control my mindset? Did I push through discomfort? Did I stay focused on purpose? And did I encourage someone else? Now, that's the one, that last one is the one I definitely is kind of hit or miss for me. But the powerful thing down here to finish too, man, what did I learn today? When you sit down every single day and say, what did I learn today? And then you think about, what am I going to improve tomorrow? And then lastly here, the gratitude. All right. Just to know, no matter how tough your day might have been, to sit there and say, what am I grateful for? Just having that mentality with or without the app, having that mentality is so healthy mentally. Just sit there and say, man, I'm thankful. A lot of days it'll be my family, my wife, it'll be my job. It'll be the opportunities I have. Honestly, lately it's been my mindset. I'm blessed to have that mindset to be where I'm at. So I'll be honest with you. Like at first, again, I was like, let me help my boy Jade out. Now I'm loving this. Again, I lean into it daily. I think I've tried to use different apps like streak type apps, habit tracker apps, all this other stuff. But the fact that this encompasses so much all in one, you got the accountability. Oh, Jada, what about the accountability partner? All right. Yeah. So that's the other thing right there. I got this morning, Jada waking me up. He put a voice nudge. You can touch this and you can actually go and send a voice nudge to your accountability partner. And I got one from Jada first thing this morning, so
yes. and that's one of the things, that's one of the features that I like the most, Jonesy, is that voice nudge. And also we also have on the app too, not to mention the voice journal. You had the voice journal, but what I like about the voice, anything with the voice, is it's cool to nudge and then you see a text message like, man, what's going on? Are you getting it done? Compared to a voice nudge, you can actually feel that raw emotion from that person. You can hear it inside. You can hear the sadness or the disappointment of your day when it comes to, like, not even just a nudge, but like I say, the voice journey. Feel it. So that's one thing that I really love about it.
I think Jada, you threw a couple of testimonials out there too.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's cool. One of the things that I'm really grateful about, this app has been going for a month now, almost a month. 12 different countries have downloaded this app. And I have a friend that I met at an internship at Disney. He's from the UK, but he's living in Thailand right now. And I shouted out to him and he was like, okay, cool. I'm thinking, okay, he's just gonna say it's cool. It wasn't even 5 minutes later. He's sending me screenshots. Oh, I'm in, bro. Hey, it looks great. And it was just, just really satisfying just to hear that coming from them. I have got people, entrepreneurs, people in the military. I have a guy that reach out. We talk at least once a week. And he's in the military and he just tells me how he's getting people based. So he's getting people, friends and other comrades, on the app, and it's been amazing. I'm gonna tell you that. Just getting the good feedback, and I've got some feedback that was crazy too. I just have to tell y'all this. I've been putting out stuff about this webinar or whatnot. In the past 2 days, I've been getting some not so good, in my opinion, responses like AI laughing emojis. I'm like, what's that for? And people are like, you know what? AI gets you in trouble. AI is fake. AI can do this and that. So my response is, it just depends on how you use AI, if you're going to get in trouble or not, if you're thinking all these negative things about it. But maybe if you have an open mind and come to this webinar and just see what AI have done for me and this app, I think you have a change of heart. So, I mean, I've been getting both sides, good feedback, and, even just bad feedback just about, the AI deal. But I can say this, Jonesy, you can vouch for me on this. When we first got to talking, what did I tell you? I told you, I said, man, I don't know about this AI thing. I know my guy Christian, he's an AI. I see he tuned in. And I mean, things that he's doing, the things that he's working on and using AI as leverage to do what he's doing. It's like, man, but I just never took the time out. I was closed-minded. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, it's all good. I tell the people it's all good. Maybe, you can have a change of heart if you kind of see and open your mind and see how it actually works. But yeah, I've had majority of great feedback and man about my wife use it. I have a cousin that an ex-NFL player, ex-NFL coach that has. It's cool, man. It's for everybody. This app is for everybody.
Hey, Jada, let Justin. I think Justin, you got to comment. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey. Hey, Jada. So,
Justin?
What's up, man? So, I think the issue with AI right now, and I'm actually, Jones, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it. Like, I think Box Elder County just approved a new AI data center, and I think the issue behind it isn't so much. By the way, I do love your app. I played around in it. I like it. Isn't so much what AI can do, but how the backbones of AI, these data centers that are going in, are affecting the environment around us. Because that's something I've actually personally been paying a lot of attention to. I'm a huge AI proponent, but when we look at the environmental impacts of the data centers that are actually behind what these guys are doing, it is destroying ecosystems. There's a lot of cases, especially on the East Coast right now, where people's farms and stuff like that is being negatively impacted by AI data centers. And I think that's where the kind of the negative connotation is coming in when
Yeah.
people talk about AI is actually that not and so I feel like they're having a hard time seeing the benefits of what AI can do, because of, unfortunately, not something any of us can control, but these, Mark Cubans out there and stuff are going through and saying, "Now I'm just going to throw an AI data center anywhere." I mean, the one that's going in Salt Lake, or I forget where that data center is. It's, they're afraid it's actually going to drain the Salt Lake and because of all the water resources it uses. But that's just something to, I think we need to be cognizant about is, with all the benefits that AI is bringing us, what are the negative effects? And when we talk to people about this, that is probably a conversation we should be prepared to have. Is like, how do we justify, you know, what this is doing versus how it's affecting, how it's affecting everyone else. Um, and it's just something that I've been paying. Like I said, I'm a huge proponent. I love it a lot. It's just that is something that actually scares me. Is like, you put up this big data center and starts taking all our natural resources around us. What's it leaving for us? So that's kind of it's just the I'm not trying to say anything bad about what we're doing here. I'm just, it's a conversation we should be prepared to have. Is what I'm trying to say.
No, you lean right in, Justin, in the area where, I mean, a lot of stuff I do and teach. Some of you have, taken my courses, and I do this at work. Like, I mean, I lean all the way in at work, like to the point. I just set up, an AI, steering team, and basically, we got multiple business unit where I work at. It's about 1,500 people. So the one that I'm one of the directors for, we have just over 400. So in that group right there, it's like, man, how do we help? How do we help people, show people that there's all this benefit? But to your point, Justin, you also got to be cognizant to some of the concerns. And this is not to, I am 100% all in. I'm gonna tell all of y'all right now. That doesn't mean you don't need to basically have discernment as you navigate through all these things. So when I constructed the steering team, there's one director on there. He knew, because I told us, like, you're the skeptic. He's like, oh, I said, yeah, you are one of the most AI skeptic individuals I know of. However, you're skeptical with objectivity. He's not the type of person that's going to be skeptical and just complain about something. He's going to be skeptical and say, this is what concerns me. This is what concerns me. This is what concerns me, which I felt, as part of the steering committee, would hold us accountable. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if I address every single one of his concerns, then I could easily look at the other 399 people in the organization and say, look, this is why we're doing this. This is where the benefits are. These are where the landmines are. This is what we should not use AI. So I 100% agree with you, Justin, that there are areas where we need to be careful. And I think, to your point, there are environmental hazards. I will give you other hazards that basically, the same leader brought to my attention while we're just having a discussion. The app you just saw right there, while I could code, I hate it. I haven't coded myself in freaking decades. All right. My first degree was in freaking applied physics. I could do it, but honestly, everything you just saw there was vibe coded. All right. And when you look at vibe coding, there are different levels of vibe coding. I try to do so responsibly, well, because I fell on my face a few times first. But when you look at it, now you got people that have access to these tools and are just vibe coding and throwing stuff out there recklessly. All right. And when that happens, you start thinking about all these individuals that are getting degrees in software engineering as developers and everything else. And you're like, okay, where's that bridge? All right. Where's the bridge? Because if vibe coding becomes so productive to the point where that degree may be kind of redundant, if that individual think all they're going to do is code. I think software engineering has a place as long as you are wanting to be a director or architect or something to navigate these things. But if you just want to sit here and just push buttons and code, you're going to have a problem here soon because AI is at the worst that it's ever going to be. And so when you look at it through that lens, all right, when we went to school for physics and engineering, all this other stuff, you had to learn a lot of basic stuff, all the stuff that you don't use today. All right. You learn the bare bone basics. All right. The things from math, science, everything. And then they start letting you use the tools and everything, maybe your junior, senior year. Sometimes even after you graduated and went into internships. What's going to happen with software development? We don't know. I'll tell you right now, we don't know because, all right, if no one needs to go through 4, 5, 6 years of school anymore, then who's going to be the one to navigate AI in the future? 10 years from now, who's going to be one to tell AI this is what you should do? We do have a problem. And those are things that we need to be thinking about as we navigate through this. But I'll be completely honest with all of y'all, high level, the genie's out of the bottle. All right. It's not going back in. So what I'm trying to get people, instead of resistant, let's find a way to navigate it. All right. That's my biggest objective here is, you know, I walk into some meetings and I tell people all the time, like, look, I need your help because things you're telling me that can take 3, 4 weeks or sometimes even months to get done, I can do in a day. And at first, they're like, no, you can't. And then I walk them through my process and I walk them through all my agents and I walk them through all this other stuff. And it's like, well, that's not fair. And I'm like, it may not be fair, but again, the genie's out of the bottle. It's not going away. So how do we maximize your productivity so that you can go faster, so you can do more? And Justin, look, I'm not going to say it's separate, but I do believe there needs to be some congressional measures to put in place the right things. You know, we start looking at these data centers, we start looking at these other things, because the problem we have right now is AI is evolving like exponentially. This is not linear growth. This is nothing. This is exponentially to where it's hard for us to even keep up with, all right, what processes do I need to have in place? What regulations do I need to have in place? So there's a lot of work to do here. 100%. I gotta let somebody else in. I don't mind letting people in. Hey, send it to your peeps. Tell them to come on and join in.
Come on in. Hey man, like I said, I'm new to this AI thing, man. So it's just good hearing all this new conversation and new language and all that good stuff.
It's outstanding. And so I'm gonna give a little bit of background here, just to go a little bit further into Jada, kind of the experience you were explaining at the beginning on, you know, you got your book, you know, it's out for editing. You got, you know, you had your vision for the journal.
Yeah.
You know, you contacted me and we basically like, hey, let's just make an app. And I'll be honest with y'all, like I'm proud, guys, I'm 43 years old. I am whatever like muscle in your brain that basically decides at one point in time that you don't want to learn anymore. I'll tell you right now, it's broken in me. All right. It is absolutely. I'm getting ready to walk for my doctorate tomorrow. That's why we out here in Virginia Beach. Like that thing is broken. All right. I love to learn. Continue. And so Jada sat here. He's like, hey, at first it was like, all right, help with the app, got it done. Jada was just like, man, we could do this. He came through with, I think you did an assessment with ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like how big this can be, not just talking us using the app, but we talking teams, universities, everything. And I'm sitting here looking at what Jada sent me. I'm like, first, Jada, ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, man, how much of this is real? So I took everything you threw at me and I threw it at Claude. All right. I was like, I need you to critique this so I can make sure my man's set up for success. But right. Like, so I can also understand, okay. And it was like, honestly, 89% of this is correct. Here's some minor things I changed. And so I sent all that back to Jada, like, here's some things you can do, how you can get there.
Yeah.
But it made me think, I'm not thinking big enough. All right. So I'm sitting here, I got my app. My app, RACEprompt, was set up to help people basically be able to communicate with AI easier. All right. Eventually, like the AIs are evolving to the point you shouldn't need anything like this. But this is to allow people to just throw whatever's on their mind at it and have it basically help talk to the AI for them. And I was like, I looked at Jada's stuff. I was like, man, I got to get on Jada level, man. I'm not thinking big enough. And so I went back and I did two things. One is I took the output for what it gave back for Jada stuff. And I said, look, I need you to take this. I need you to do the same exact thing for mine. All right. I need you to look at my app. I need you to look at my stuff and my goals and do the same exact stuff. So it made this, it like blew up. I was like, oh my God. And then I said, you know what? Everybody should have access to something like this. So I said, I need you to generalize a standard prompt for AI that anybody with their vision, their business, whatever they want, can actually use this and do the same thing that Jada did. And then I did. I mean, I think I said to you, Justin. I think, Jewel, I said it to you. I mean, you talking about something that's powerful. Why? Because it's so easy for us, the older we get, to get this tunnel vision and be so limited in our thinking. After that, man, I'll tell you right now, I learned all kind of different opportunities for, I think I said both Jada and I got some stuff. Federal grants out there. All right. We talking stuff for federal grants. I'm sitting here, I'm probably days away from getting my cage code. Stuff I would never even thought about. All right. You're talking millions out there in opportunity to basically utilize these things to do something better, not only for yourself, but actually give back to the community. I'm just like thriving here. Credits. I think Justin, I sent you something on this too. It showed me all these grants, but it also showed me all these credits that I could get. So I don't know if many of you know that on the back end, a lot of AI, you're using, sometimes they call it tokens, sometimes they call it usage, but you'll have to pay certain fees. And right out the gate, I got $5,000 worth of credits through Azure. All right. I got $2,000 worth of credits through Google Chrome. I would have never thought about this. I got $1,000 credits for Miro, 500. And after this call, I'll send everybody the process to get it. It's just out there. Why? Because they want you using their technology. So they're going to give you free credits, free all this other stuff. So I have a complete setup for my AI that is combined, not only using a little bit of Claude, but also locally. And I got thousands of dollars in credits that are being used that I don't have to spend any money. I'm just using the credits that they basically gave me. Yeah. And this all started. Jada hit me up. Hey, this could be this big. And I wasn't thinking that big. And I was like, yo, like I got to think this big too. So I'm constantly now trying to think the same way. And Jada, I go back and forth daily on this. All right. Yeah. Hey, look.
He keep me on my made me think and make me go at another level too that I wasn't going at. So yeah, it works both ways, man. It ties in perfect.
It is powerful. It is powerful. So I mean, we got a few slides here, but honestly, I think this has been some great conversation. I'd like to even just go ahead and straight to the Q&A and allow the audience some time to ask any questions, you know, technically, personally, anything, throw it out there. This is all for y'all.
I'll ask a question. What do you vibe coding on?
Claude, mainly. What I do, I'll be honest with you, I use a combination of Claude Cowork and Claude Code. Professionally, you know, I'm one of like 3 people that actually pilot through our organization there. We try to keep people in kind of the Microsoft infrastructure, but I use Claude Code there, and I use personally Cowork. I'll be honest, I don't know if you've heard of Claude Dispatch. So Claude Dispatch is actually you connect to your Cowork instance on your phone. So I just leave my MacBook Pro on all the time. 90% plus of what I do vibe coding wise is actually texting my Claude from my phone. And so I'll tell you one of the first powerful uses of that, I think Jada started asking about some different features. So I actually had Claude do comprehensive research about what's going to differentiate F3, what's really going to differentiate the app. And when it was done, it laid out all these suggestions. I sent those to Jada, probably a Thursday, Friday morning. I'm at lunch. I'm at lunch with my wife. You know, we went to this little Mexican restaurant. I get a message back from Jada saying, I want to go ahead and implement this, and this for the app. So I just pulled out my phone and text Claude back and said, Jada wants these, and these. Go ahead and update the code to incorporate the features that he just requested. So by the time I got home, I was able to test those actual features on the app. So that's just how fast and efficient this is moving. And I have a local set up that way too, just so you're aware. So I actually challenged Claude and said, what if you're not here? What if, so let me start with the real conversation. I said, how do I replace you? And it asked me why. So, but I said, look, what if Anthropic goes down? I still got a business to run. What if this goes down? I still got a business to run. It actually replicated itself. So 70, 80% of everything I do, I have a local setup. I have a llama for my local language models. I have what's called ScreenPipe. It has persistent memory on my computer. And Cowork, Claude even admitted, I could never have the persistent memory that ScreenPipe has. So I have all this stuff, and I actually have it routing through what's called blue bubbles. So I can text to myself. And if I text myself, I can start a chat with my local setup to do similar to what I was doing with Claude. But I still lean heavier on Claude for a lot of, I say, strategic stuff, and definitely vibe coding on that.
Yeah, I'm curious more so about like the operations. Like, how are you guys going to handle that as far as like customer service questions and like marketing and things like that?
So all of you can go to drjonesy.com. That's my website, but then / and type in stack. All right. What you're going to see right here, this is my entire stack. All right. I have over 40 agents. I needed a system. This is actually one thing we talk about strategy with Claude. It helped me understand. It was like, look, you got a gold mine, but there's only one you. All right. You can't be everywhere. There's only many calories you have. It was straight up brutal. Like, hey, you're a director professionally, you're a husband, you're a father, you know what I mean? Just laying all this other stuff out. And so what you need to start doing is creating systems. If I scroll down here, you'll see me, but then you see Cowork right at the top as the orchestrator. And you'll see down here, I have so many different agents. I mean, I'm just gonna scroll down a little bit. Everybody take a look when you can, but this whole thing splits up how much of my workflow is actually going through Claude, how much of it is actually locally. Like I stated, you can even see down here, hey, I got those $5,000 in Azure credits. I'm gonna use those credits, man. Like I was like, hey, instead of me using Claude, why don't I use the $5,000 in Azure credits? And so roughly 87% is what it's calculated of how much of my stuff is gonna run through Azure versus me using Claude. To better answer your question, Joel, I would say it's better to sit down, structure your vision, and I'll probably actually send out a prompt on this too, and start thinking about all the other areas. Think about the blind spots you may have of what you're not thinking about. I have a VP of revenue, all right, sends me a message every morning, basically going through how much revenue am I generating, where it sees that basically there's areas where I'm not generating revenue. It says it's most likely this, gives me some details, tells me, hey, you might want to tweak this, try this, do some A/B testing. I have an agent that basically does a website health check. It's not in my nature to sit here and think about, let me go see if my website's working. So I have an agent that basically checks every single morning. Well, actually, I changed that as of late. I have a Claude agent that checks every morning. I have my other agents actually checks every hour, all right? But that's on my local stat because it doesn't cost me anything. It's actually checking every hour to make sure all of my website is working the way it should. Not only just opening, but also the speed at which it's opening. So, basically I need it reopen in about 200 milliseconds. Sometimes it can open about 400 or 500 milliseconds and it'll tell me that's too slow. You got somebody with a iPhone, they open up your app. If it's not fresh and crisp right away, they're gonna leave. You need to speed this up. It'll give me recommendations. So those are just like 2 or 3 of over 40 agents that I have that basically are helping me build out a system and feel like I can, as a solopreneur, I can orchestrate these agents. Now, I'll be honest with you, there is a point where that many agents, it becomes overwhelming, which is honestly what you're seeing here. This was for me to start with. I didn't understand what all my agents are doing. I got to so many that I was like, I need to understand what they're all doing. So even though I'm sharing this publicly, I needed this first for myself to understand what does my ecosystem really look like that's helping me daily. For some of you that use the RACEprompt app, Justin, thank you for all the feedback. I basically ended up saying, how do I automate the feedback loop? How do I make it to where people in the app can leave feedback and I can take it and decide if I want that feature added or not and have that immediately rolled out. So that's actually part of the RACEprompt app. If you download the RACEprompt app and you go to settings, you just go ahead and click on feedback, leave. Hey, I'd like to see this. I'd like to see it this way. And I would tell every single one of y'all that, you know, have been helping me, Jada, helping yourself with any app development, website development, anything. Be honest with your friends, guys. All right. Justin had to be ruthless to tell me this ain't working. This right here, I don't like how this is working. Your friends ain't going to get better unless you are absolutely ruthless with them on what you struggling with, because once you get it to where it's flawless for you, it's going to be flawless for damn near anybody. So be honest with your friends, be hard on them, but allow them to basically use your feedback to make their product better.
All right, I know I got in a little late. I was a little busy. I got the text a little late. But so what we're doing, what's going on, Jada? So what we're doing is app development. I know I didn't catch the first part of it.
No, let me clarify this. This is not app development. I actually had somebody that's been to majority of my webinars actually tell me they weren't coming because it's like, I'm not interested in developing apps. They looked at me mainly for the leadership side of the things I do. And honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is about using AI to basically augment you. This is what this is about. It may be apps, it may be something else you doing, and you just think about, hey, how do I actually make myself 5 times better? All right. There are things maybe I didn't learn in school, or things that basically I don't have time to learn right now. And I want AI to help complement me and help me do something. This is broad. All right. We're definitely using the power of the apps to communicate that. But it is, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's bigger than that. If you look at RACEprompt, my app, that is a small piece of my pie right now. Like, I'm looking at all the stuff after I looked at what Jada did and said, I got to think bigger. I'm working on federal grants. I'm working on, all right, how do I make this for enterprises, businesses? I just had a call. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Student Beans. They do basically student discounts, college, teachers, anything like that. You'll find discounts, all this other stuff. So I'm like, hey, I want to partner with them. I sent them a message. I would never thought to send them a message, but my AI told me send them a message. So I was on a call. I was on a webinar this morning with them. All right. And just going through the process and all this other stuff. So it basically just, I'll tell you right now, it just opened my eyes. Like, there's a lot more opportunities out there that I would have even thought about. And this just helps me explore not only what they are, but the biggest piece about the shift in AI over the last few months is you go out of having AI tell me to, I can have AI go do now. That's the biggest shift. And so it's not only gonna tell me, hey, there's all these grants, I can just sit here and say, look, I'm busy at work. I was at my son's soccer game the other night. I was like, I need you to go do all this. I can have it apply for apps. I can have it make updates to Jada's apps. I don't even have to tell it much of anything. Jada sends me anything now. I take a screenshot of what Jada sent me and I give it to Claude and it makes a determination. Oh, Jada's struggling with this. You know what? This would be much easier if we change this. And it may ask for my authorization to go update the app. And I'm like, yes, go update the app. Make sure Jada gets what he needs. And it's already running. I don't have to do anything. Now, the other side of this, I'll be completely, this is completely transparent. Every influencer, all these other people won't tell you all the time. AI is like, it's a freaking very intelligent, at the same time, naive intern, all right? It basically, it has the intellect of all of the knowledge that's been collected over history. However, you can tell it to do one thing, and it might go all the way over here, all right? There'll be times where I struggle. Hell, Jada, the freaking voice nudge. Man, that thing took me like 2 days. Hey, now this ain't it, man.
Yeah.
Jada kept coming back to me. It's like, this ain't it. It's not working. So you got to go in with the mindset that it's an intern. It is an intern. But look at it the same way. If you bring an intern in, whether your job or anything, you bring them in to work for you. And you say, hey, I need you to go do this. They get 60, 70% there and they mess up something. Are you going to fire them right away? Are you going to fire them? First off, there's the cost of the intern. They're not going to be expensive. You're paying too much for an intern, you're in the wrong business anyways. All right, that's the number one. They're going to be cheap. Secondly, you have the ability to say, look, this is what I need you to do next time. With an intern, it's actually going to take them longer to actually understand what you need them to do next time. With Claude, I can sit here and lay out ground rules and say, I need you to never do this again. I need you to always do this, to actually sit here and course correct. And you'd be so impressed at what you're capable of doing when you have that mindset. I watch people on Reddit and on Twitter and everything. They just complain because they're not getting exactly what they asked for from their AI. Fair enough. You paying for something, you should. But man, I guess with my patience, I don't know what it is. I was like, all right, it didn't get it right that time. Let me click a few buttons and I'll do it again. I tell my AI 3 to 5 times, don't ever ask me to do something daily. All right, I'll be honest with all of you. It'll say, I'm going to do this and do this, but I need you to get on your MacBook and I need you to open this file and I need you to do this. And I tell it, I'm not opening anything. You need to figure it out. And it's like, got it. And it'll go do it. I don't mind sitting there texting it just a few words to go ahead and level set that it needs to go and do those things, guys. So that is one thing that I noticed in the beginning, because some people get so frustrated the first time they used it. Oh, I don't want to touch this anymore. And you have no clue what you're losing in the long term by taking that mindset.
So, do you have any, could you give me a real world example of using AI?
Yeah, so you got a few credit cards. I have the Delta Reserve card because I used to travel a lot for work. But my latest role, I haven't been traveling a lot. And I'm like, man, it's like $650 annually for the membership. And I was like, I can't justify that. So I went over to Claude and said, hey, what should I do? Should I cancel the card? And it was actually like, no, you shouldn't cancel. It was like, first, you shouldn't cancel because it's gonna, negatively impact your credit score. So it said, actually, you may want to reduce the card because of how frequently you'll travel, but you actually might want to just go ahead and contact Amex and see if they have any retaining benefits. And I was like, oh, okay. So I literally just opened up a chat with Amex and said, I had Claude on one screen, I had Amex on the other. And I was like, hey, I'm getting ready to cancel this or reduce this card, but I want to check if you got the retention benefit. It's like, oh, yeah. We'll give you $500 in credit if you stay with us, right now. And I was like, so I took that and gave it to Claude. And Claude said, hey, that's a solid deal, but never take the first offer. All right. So push back on Amex. I was like, all right, push back. It was like, yeah, we'll give you this many Sky Miles. Like, I don't need no Sky Miles. I'll just take the $500 in credit. I would have never done that on my own, guys. And I know there's some people that they're savvy with deals and credit cards like that. That yeah, they didn't need AI for that. But for me, it saved me $500 and I got to keep the card. I mean, we out in Virginia Beach right now. Bags paid for, Sky Club, everything. I wouldn't have had all that if I didn't keep the card. So that's just a simple, example of using AI to kind of help you overcome something.
That's a great example, bro.
Yeah, Justin, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, as you know, you and I, we've been talking a lot back and forth. I've been using AI for a lot of things, but recently, I think Elliot, you asked the question, right? So, I've been struggling pretty much ever since I got out of the Army with my weight. And about 2022, and I think I talked to Mimi about the semaglutide. I took semaglutide. I also took this test called Viome. And I'm setting you up for when I get to the AI part. So bear with me. I took this test called a Viome test. It's a gut health and a DNA test. And what Viome also does is they send a customized what are they called, like probiotics for your gut health and vitamins for what it thinks that you need. And in 2022 I lost a lot of weight. I think I lost like 70 pounds. An old knee injury from when I was in the Army, coupled with how expensive the semaglutide was, kind of laid me out. Like for the next 3 years, I could not move to save my life. And I ended up gaining a lot of that weight back. And as expensive as semaglutide was, I just really couldn't afford that. I was going through a bad divorce, so there's a lot of things going on. And so earlier this year, the VA actually finally approved, because I'm a 100% disabled vet, the VA finally approved using GLP-1s for weight loss. And so I started taking semaglutide again. here's the difference. I was not using the Viome stuff, and I've been struggling to start losing the weight. I also last year I was able to get a total knee replacement. So the injury from the military that I had that really laid me up, that made it to where I couldn't exercise, finally got healed, and so I'm like back on track to start losing the weight. And last year, midsummer, I had retaken the Viome test, so I kind of had some up-to-date data. And more recently, I went to the VA and I got a whole bunch of blood work done to have a look at my, my A1C and all that stuff. And I was sitting here and I was looking at all this data that I have, and I was just like, I kind of don't know what any of this means. And I'm like, so I started researching, and I'm like, this is a lot of work. And then I was like, you know what? I have Claude, and I use Claude for like Jones. I use it for everything. And what's really, really cool about Claude is you can take all your paperwork, everything that you have, and you can put it into a folder, and you can create a project with Claude and give it access to that folder. And you can say, hey, I want you to review this data for me. And actually, if I could share my screen, I could show you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Let's see, where's it at? I'll go ahead and share my screen. Let's see, what window is it? This one here. So, and I'm actually researching something totally different. So what y'all see. And so let me just give me a second, bring it up. Oh, here we go. And so, I got all this data together, and I'll scroll up to the top here, and I essentially it was a lot of talk. Oh, sorry. I said read the instructions and provide feedback. I put it in the instructions, which I've actually said straight. But basically, I said I want you to review all the documentation that I have here. I have blood results. I have my Viome results. I have in-body scan. The VA does an in-body scan. It tells you your muscle mass, skeletal mass, all these things. And, I want you to look at all of this stuff, and I want you to tell me, like, what am I missing right now? And so it, as you can see, it came back and it says, I've read through all these things, and it was like, here's a comprehensive individual fat loss analysis, right? And it just started going through, like, this is what's going on with you, with your body right now. And as I was reading through all this, you'll see I've asked, it's a lot to read, but I've asked it questions like, so like the vitamins that I'm taking, this is what I'm taking. What does that mean? And it's like, it tells me, D2 is a good vitamin, but you need to be taking it with K, because it doesn't absorb in your body correctly. And then, and actually I meant D3. But so it's talking about the vitamins. So I was like, bring up Amazon and show me, like, bring up the vitamins that most make sense according to what you're seeing. It has my DNA results, right? And it's like, well, you have this gene called the MTHFR, which means your body doesn't process folate properly. So you actually need to buy this very specific type of folate for your body to process it. And I have another gene apparently where B12, when it goes into my stomach, it's the FUT2 and TCN2. When it goes into my stomach, the B vitamins get completely destroyed. So I should be taking a B vitamin that I need to inject directly, like under my tongue. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so, we go through and we talk about, you can see the vitamins that it recommends. I actually bought the vitamin. Actually, here's like one of the probiotics that it recommended, and I bought the vitamins. It's taking a look at my A1C, as you can see here. And it goes through, and I was like, take a look at my HDL, LDL. Like, what does that mean, and how can I fix these levels? Because my levels are off. And so it's like, well, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, and so when it's a lot to read through. I'm not going to make y'all read through it, but when it was all said and done, it was like, I had this way better understanding. Basically, what it boils down to is, my gut health, and this is from the Viome. My gut health has been really, really bad within my large intestines, and the foods I've been feeding it have been feeding the wrong bacteria within my gut that are causing inflammation in my body, that are causing me to not be able to lose weight, and the semaglutide isn't really able to do its job because I'm not understanding all the different parts of how my body system, how the system within my body works. And that was something I wasn't understanding from all the little pieces of individual information that I had. But when I put it all together, Claude was able to break this down. And it actually broke this down, and it said basically what's happening is that within my gut, I have all this bad bacteria, and that's it, the blood work actually shows the inflammation that it's talking about, which is backed up with the Viome results that say that I have this bad bacteria in my gut that's causing the inflammation. I'm only making it worse by eating certain foods. And so it's like, while I'm on the right track, I need to adjust the diet so that it starts feeding, the good probiotics, and once I start doing that, it'll start reducing the inflammation. Once the inflammation starts reducing, then my body will stop holding on to all the water that's causing it to hold on to. I don't remember exactly. I don't remember exactly what it was saying. It's in here. I'd have to go find it. But basically, it's like this is what's going to happen with your body, and it's like as soon as you start doing this, it predicted that I would lose about 5 pounds within the first week, and then after, and that's just from like water release and stuff like that, and the body's starting to try to get back on track and rewrite itself, right? And then it's like after that week, you should start losing, if you're following this plan, 1 to 2 pounds a week. And here I am Friday. I had started this on Monday. Here on Friday, and I am actually right on where it said I would be. I've lost 7 pounds, and I actually asked it this morning. I was like, I know I didn't lose 7 pounds of fat this morning, and it's like, yeah, you didn't. And this is exactly what I was saying. You lost the water weight, and actually, let me see. I have it. I'm trying to remember exactly what it told me, but it was like, yeah, the glycogen plus the water. When you reduce calories and carbs, then slightly your body burns to the glycogen, blah, blah, blah. So, it worked through all the different things. And so it's like, that's, I'm like, AI was able to put together all the, I had tons of information on my body. I had DNA analysis on the foods that I'm supposed to be eating. I had a gut health check to see what's going on with the inside of my body. I had blood tests, but the problem is they were all from different sources, right? They weren't all combined. And me, I don't know a lot about medical health, and so I didn't know what all these independent sources meant and how it worked together. Putting it on a Claude, it was like, yeah, your A1C looks like this because of this. Your HDL and LDL looks like this because of this. The inflammation, I think it called it LAP or something. I don't remember. It's looking like this because of this, and it brought all the information together. It's like, if you make these changes, this is what's going to happen. And I'm making them, and it's happening. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Okay, so I'm not obviously not putting all my stock into it, but what I can say is it is very evident that it is helping me already. And so I'm hoping if I keep it up, obviously I'll keep losing weight. I'm still very early into this, but that's a recent example on my end on how AI is actually helping.
It's powerful, man. It's powerful.
Great.
It's powerful. All right, so I'm gonna close out some stuff, then I'm gonna hand over to Jada. If you want to, give a few words, but first, I appreciate every one of you joining. Anybody that's been following, anybody that's got the apps, anything, definitely appreciate you. Do not hesitate to reach out. Ping me directly. That could be on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it may be. Check out the website, drjonesy.com. Anytime. Basically, got all my stuff over there. much higher level, consultant type stuff. But you ever need help with anything, you can just ping me. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to chat about it, give some guidance, because I live it every day. I'm blessed to be able to not only do it from a solopreneurial standpoint, but at work, I'm using it every day. So a lot of people tell you, oh, they've done this. Like I'm doing it at the corporate level. I'll tell you that right now. And there's a lot of things that ain't easy at the corporate level that I'll be, honest with you. It's like, hey, you got to look out for this, whether it's systematic or, even dealing with change management and getting people to adapt. So, that's it for me. I appreciate you all. So I'll hand it over to Mr. F3 over here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. And again, like Jones said, man, I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to come hang out with us a little bit. I've learned within this hour some stuff about AI. Like I said, I'm new to it, and I just appreciate y'all coming through. Y'all go tap into the app too. Like I said, it's a cool app. It's a game changer, and it's cool. If you want to learn more about it, you can definitely go on my website as well at getf3.com. And you can see more about the app and what it offers.
Hey, if you got an Android phone, we are looking for more beta testers. All right. We're looking for more beta testers for F3. So please hit up Jada, me. If you can actually go to getf3.com and sign up for the beta there, or you can hit up one of us, share with your friends. But we're definitely looking for more beta testers for the F3 app on Android.
Definitely appreciate you saying that too. Yeah, man. And hey, listen, I hope y'all have a F3 type of day and a great weekend, man.